What's up, guys? Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time. I am back today with another Gallery of Magick book review. It's been a while, so I do apologize. I've been working on, I don't apologize. I've been working on a series of interview videos, the Religion to Occult series. I still have a couple to be posted, and if anyone is interested in sharing their story growing up religious and then shifting and evolving your beliefs in time that has led you into the occult, I would love to interview you and hear your story and share it with others as long as you're comfortable. So before we begin with today's video, I do just want to take a minute to give a shout out to the members of my channel, which I am so grateful that you are already a member. As the year progresses, I will be continuing to grow the members, the content of the members section of my channel. Right now, my offerings, I have 3 level offerings. You can click on the information on my channel and find out what each level offers. For the level 1 membership, the basic one, I'm going to begin to do extended release videos of any and all book reviews, or sometimes second reviews, or anything like too taboo that's like, just not really what I want in the public eye. And therefore, it will just be a little bit more information about my experiences with magic, as well as the other offerings that I have. So there will be more to come. But like I said, I wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to the members that are already a part of this channel. And I am so grateful for you to want to participate in what I have to share. And just thank you for being here. So I would like to give a shout out to Jacqueline B., who is a level 1 member. Juan Buleris, also level 1 member. Don Emrys, level 1 member. Advanced Trance, level 3 member. Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence and your support and your participation. Serbi Jane, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Level 1 member, thank you again so much. And Vanilla Sun Cherries, level 2 member. Thank you so much, guys, for your participation again and just for being a member of my channel. And I hope that I continue to put out content that you can enjoy and find fulfilling and to make, your membership completely worth it. So that being said, everything on my public channel for people who are not members is going to stay the same. I'm going to put out the same videos that I would do normally. All the stuff in the member section is just extended stuff. So if you are curious at some point in time as the channel continues to grow to become a member, then check it out. It's just a monthly subscription, and then if you try it out and not a fan, then you can take your subscription back. But as I said, in time, it will continue to grow. There will continue to be more content, so stay tuned. So guys, today's video is my very first review on the Gallery of Magick book, Magickal Destiny. I apologize if the camera flips or the video flips the camera and the book looks backwards. It is the book. It is the Gallery of Magick book bought from Amazon, from their website, Magickal Destiny by Damon Brand. And this book is to experience the power of your holy guardian angel. I believe it was released a few years ago, maybe in 2021, so it's taken me a little while to begin to get started with this. But I have had the book for a while now and have done some work out of it. I have not yet worked with every ritual in the book, so I will be putting out more review videos, experience videos in time as I continue to do more work out of it. But I did want to share my experience thus far, because I have had results. So, first of all, as I said, this book, the intention of this book, the goal of this book is to experience the power of your holy guardian angel. And everybody in the world, whether you're into magic or not, has a guardian angel, has spirit guides, has ancestors in spirit. It essentially comes down to whether or not you believe in it. And so the goal of this book is to build the connection between yourself and the guardian angel, your holy guardian angel. And your holy guardian angel is no one else's holy guardian angel. It is unique to you, just as you are a unique human being, at least from my understanding. And therefore, the angel has a desire to connect with us too. Damon Brand does an excellent job, as always, of giving background on the books, going to some original sources. But in this book, he's creating his own method of contact through 7 protocols and sigil rituals that allow us to connect even deeper and further with our guardian angel. So I have not yet worked with the sigil rituals. I have only done the protocols. And so I'm going to share a bit of my experience with working with the protocols and what the connection between myself and my guardian angel has been, because there has been a connection so far. As always, I recommend when beginning these sort of books, read it from cover to cover before beginning. Especially read the stuff in the beginning that Damon Brand writes. He does a very good job of just like giving us almost too much information, which it's not too much information, but just detailed information and what we need to know. His work in putting this book together, and how to go about working with the angel. One quote that I will say from him that I find important in not just this book, but in magic practice in general, is, to quote Damon Brand, "What I usually advise is that you should work with great intention but without anxious need." Right? And that anxious need sort of ties into like a lust for results, right? So whenever we work with magic, whether this book or another book, we want to have a strong intention. We want to give it our focus. We want to give it our attention, but we want to be careful to not just be so desperate for results. Have no expectations. And just see what happens as we follow the instructions and do the magic for ourselves. I read the book before beginning to work with it, and then I began with Protocol 1. In the beginning, there are 7 different protocols, each with a different level of connection with the angel. And so the first protocol is just an intentional opening, is to provide a method of connecting with the angel in a very simple way. I won't go into detail about like how to do the ritual really and everything. This video is more so just about my experience with what I sensed, what I felt, what I did, and sharing that with you guys. So I've had this book for several months now, and I have not done it daily. I have not done this ritual daily, but I do it whenever, often. I do it often. At least to connect with my angel on a regular basis. And as time has gone on, I have built that connection more so, even if it's just to connect with him and not do anything. And I say him, but and I'll get into this a little bit more too. My angel is not necessarily a man. He's more an androgynous being, but just for simplicity's sake, I will refer to my angel as he, with he, him pronouns, I suppose. Maybe occasionally I'll switch it up to she, her. Don't get confused. It's the same angel. Okay. So, Protocol 1 is an intentional opening. And you're basically going into not a very deep meditative trance. You read the protocol and see how you're supposed to be approaching this ritual, and just having a strong intention to connect with your angel. And so I took notes after every time that I have connected with my angel, most every time, especially in the beginning when doing Protocol 1, just to see what I sensed. And after my very first time doing it, I immediately, or maybe after a few moments, but relatively quickly, felt that connection. And what happened in that connection is, I opened my arms, as he said he did, palms facing up, or as he says to do, Damon Brand, palms facing up, and had the intention, said it out loud, said it in my mind to connect with my guardian angel. And after even just the first time of doing this, I felt this energy not even enter into my space, because our guardian angel is already around us, but it became clearer. It was like I focused on it, right? And so I became aware of something that was already there. Now, I will share with you guys some of the notes that I took from just the very first time trying to connect with the angel. So when I became clear of my angel's presence, I immediately sensed the size of him. And I didn't quite clearly see what it looked like, what he looked like, but it was almost just like I could see, not like a ghost, but just like a figure, like the outline of somebody coming into my space, into my energy. And man, my angel's tall. He's a tall guy or girl. and tall angel. I mean, like 6-7 feet tall perhaps. And I felt this level of protection. You know, I felt, it didn't feel bad. It didn't feel like I was connecting with anything that wasn't my angel. I immediately knew it was my angel. And as I stood there, continuing to have my palms open, continuing to maintain this level of connection, the entire time that I was in this sort of trance or meditative state, I sensed the sighs. And I tuned in, I focused on my mind's eye, I went inward a bit, and listened. Rather than ask any questions, rather than think any thoughts, you know, I did my best to clear my mind and just receive, focused on receiving information, downloads, you know, messages from my angel, and hearing and listening to what he had to say. And what I heard the first time was, I have always been here. I heard, you are more powerful than you know. I am eager to connect with you, for there is much we will do together. And in other times, as the days continued, because for a while I was doing this every day, just to continue to strengthen that connection, there became a pattern of messages, right? The angel would tell me, I found at the same time that my connection would strengthen when I focused on my breath. And it was easy to breathe deeply when the angel came in. You know, it was easier to receive the angel when I had conscious breathing, when I was intentional with my breathing, and focused on the magic that I was doing. And every time that I connected with the angel, just in Protocol 1, I would sense his size, you know, and just the shape, the outline of him. And I will say that after the connection, after I would close down the contact, I felt more flow, like more inflow of just life, right? I had less anxiety about like what to do next or something, right? I was just able to move, able to flow naturally. And this part, I will say, is for members only. I even one day asked the name of my angel. And the name that I heard was, or saw rather, in my mind's eye, was Lux. Lux. Or Luxe. Lux, Luxor, Luxora. Sort of all the different variations of whether, you know, it's perceived as a masculine or feminine or androgynous energy. And that's not to say that that's going to be everybody's angel's name. You know, I just wanted to see if I could ask a name. And so now, when I move forward and whenever I do try to connect with my angel, I'll say the name. Or I'll you know, I have a name to refer to my angel as. And I did begin, too, to ask for some physical features or to begin to see more of my angel rather than just like the shape, the outlined shape that I was sensing in the beginning. And at one point in time during Protocol 1, I did sort of have this flash of a human-like quality to the angel. You know, I saw what he would look like in a physical form. And I don't see that every time. But I did see it in the beginning, and that's all I needed. I don't need to see it every time. But I sense him every time. And as I continued to do this, the angel began to come right away. Whenever I would just have that intention and open the level of connection, the angel came right away. In Protocol 2, we're asking for the angel's support. Whether it's for a specific creative project or something else, you know, some challenge we need to overcome, something within ourselves, something external. You know, we're asking for the angel's support that we feel like we need support with. And Damon Brand does give examples of, like, you know, what not to maybe, like, if you are trying to get a new pair of shoes, you know, just not to make it, like, a superficial request, really, but to, when you genuinely have a need, like a need for inspiration or a need for more compassion or a need for something that you feel you would benefit from the assistance of the angel, then you can ask the angel for it. I mean, the worst that can happen is nothing, right? And so I did do this, and I haven't done it very often, but I did ask for the angel a couple times to help me with certain things. And I did feel that later on, usually there were things within me, like internal changes, inner alchemy perhaps. And I did feel after the fact that I was granted, or it was easier to move forward with that energy that I asked for. I have yet to ask for like a big thing, but whenever I have asked for something, I receive it. Now, again, for members only, when I did this second protocol, I am a writer, okay? So I expressed to the angel some of my struggles, some of the challenges that I was facing at the time with certain creative projects, and I asked for its assistance in helping with my writing, helping to overcome any like writer's block or any challenges or any creative blocks that I had. And what happened after the fact is I sat down, still with the intention of connecting to my holy guardian angel, and I was in flow with my writing. It was as though I wasn't even thinking about it. When you're in flow, when you're doing something you love or doing something you're good at, or whether or not you're good at it, it just comes so much more naturally. It comes with effortlessly. And so I've made it a point now that anytime I sit down to write, I do connect with my angel beforehand. And to assist in getting me in the flow. And will I need to do this forever and always for the rest of my time as a writer? Maybe not. But for now, it's helpful. And, my goal and intention is to be able to access this flow, and as I continue to write and as I continue to practice and get more things published, that will come naturally, and I may not need to call on the angel every time. But keep in mind, again, that our angel is always with us. And so it can be approached as like something you're doing as a team rather than just individual. And yes, it's still me writing. It's not like the angel's taking over my body or anything, and at least it doesn't feel that way. But that there is just an ease to how I'm approaching what I'm trying to do. Damon Brand states that the second protocol is all about recognizing those moments of need and asking the angel for help. And that's not to say that there won't be times, like it won't always be effortless and something. There will still be challenges. We might still mess up. We might still make mistakes. We might still this and that. But as we continue to build this connection with the angel and continue to practice at whatever it is with the angel's assistance, it will become easier in time. And then hopefully, therefore, easier for us to do it on our own later on. So we are only stating, whenever we do the second protocol, we are basically stating our challenges, what we've struggled with, what went wrong in the past, what we want to change, and then asking for help with a level of sincerity, or with sincerity, with a sincere intention, and then taking action to go about whatever it is we asked for help with a belief that we are receiving the help from the angel. And again, I'll say the worst thing that can happen is nothing at all. Nothing at all. Now, protocol 3 is an active intention. So in this one, I haven't done this one as much, but with this one, it's more so about just taking, when I've done it, and read the chapter, read what it says, but I've taken walks. Or I play piano. So I would play piano with the intention of, as I'm playing, to connect even further with my angel. And it's really just a way to sense the angel even greater. I will admit that on the walk sometimes I do get distracted. And Damon Brand says, you don't have to be solely 100% focused on the angel every time or every second of your walk or whatever you're doing. But it's just another way to connect even further with that energy. And so the first 3 protocols, even alone, by doing those for a certain amount of time, And there's really no timeline. You can just intuitively do it however long you feel like it. They did help me to strengthen that connection and build that connection. And for a while, I was satisfied with just doing the first 3 protocols. And then continuing mostly to do ritual or protocol 1. And then later, I went to the 4th protocol and went to the other ones as well. So I've only done up to ritual 5 or protocol 5. And so with every protocol that I've done, even though it hasn't been all of them yet, I have continued to strengthen the angels, strengthen the connection with the angel. I feel it every time. And it's not very complicated magic. It's all very safe. You know, it's really just sort of like an active meditation with an intention to connect with somebody. Or with, well, specifically with your holy guardian angel. And it was immediate. It was pretty quick that I felt that connection. So if you have worked with this book, or if you haven't worked with this book, or whatever your relationship with this book is, it is a great book. And honestly, I believe that it was time for me to connect with my holy guardian angel. I think that maybe magic comes to us at the time when we need it, certain books and stuff. And, you know, Damon Brand does a great job, too, of, like, stating some of his students' opinions and thoughts in the past and concerns about, like, oh, what if I don't connect with the angel? What if I connect with something else? You know, and none of that has happened for me personally. I've always felt and I connect with the same energy every time. And when we get into protocols like 4 and 5, in protocol 4 we were releasing pain and asking our angel to sort of ease the burden of any pain that we feel. And then protocol 5, it's about perspective. It's about getting sort of a point of view from the angel's perspective looking at us. And with this ritual, with protocol 5, it was very moving to me. I've only done it once so far. And I did it sort of without reading the rest of the chapter first, or I had read through it, but it wasn't like as I was doing it, I was kind of rereading again and then doing it. And I sort of did it intuitively, correctly. It's not very complex before like finishing reading the chapter. And what happened is when I sort of took myself outside of myself, you know, closed my eyes and tried to see myself through the angel's perspective, through the angel's eyes, I felt so much like love and compassion for myself, you know, and I cried. It was moving. Because this holy guardian angel does love us and is a part of us and wants to connect with us. And to be seen through the eyes of the angel was very powerful, very profound for me. And as I said, I've only done it once, but I'm sure I'll continue to do it again. But it gives us a perspective, you know, and all of these protocols are done with the intention of just strengthening that connection. And with each one that I've done, I have found that it does truly strengthen the connection to my angel. And so I have greatly enjoyed this book so far. I take notes after every time, or just about every time I've worked with it, especially if I'm receiving something from my angel, so that I can just, know, it's like journaling. I mean, I write down most things whenever I do magic. So I suggest that as a practice, if you don't do it, or if you do it or not. But if you haven't worked with this book yet, and you have any curiosity or any desire, it might be up there in one of my favorite Gallery of Magick books, because it is simple and it is connecting you with something that is beneficial for us. And there's still half of this book that I haven't done yet. So I'm excited to continue to work with it and continue to connect even deeper and just see what happens. And of course I will report back as I have more experience with this, but I wanted to share my experiences so far with you guys, because it's also been a while since I've done a Gallery of Magick book review. And this is the latest one that I've worked with, the newest one that I've worked with. So whatever the origins are, whatever other methods, obscure methods people may have of connecting with your angel, whatever works for you, works for you. But for me, this book worked. And I have been able to connect with my holy guardian angel, who I call Lux. And so I'm curious to hear anybody else's results as we build this connection with and awareness of the spirit that's watching over us at all times, that's always connected to us. Now, for members only, I will say too that I believe it is important for us, whenever we connect, whenever we're doing magic in the first place, whether it is this book, another book, whatever, to have clean spiritual hygiene, to be mentally stable, physically healthy as we can be at the time, but spiritual hygiene is hugely important, because I'm going to share this experience with my members that I am not putting in the public one. And years ago, maybe 2021, 2022-ish, I was working with somebody else with a different method of connecting to my holy guardian angel. It wasn't super different, and I wasn't calling the spirit my holy guardian angel. I mean, it kind of was, but I will admit that at the time, I was not I'm not as mentally stable. I was not as mentally stable as I am right now. My spiritual hygiene was not great. And I did connect with a spirit. And I do believe that it could have been an aspect of my holy guardian angel. But what I believe in hindsight that I connected with could have possibly been the shadow side or a false angel. And it wasn't always a bad connection. I mean, it wasn't in the moment a bad connection, but it wasn't quite the same connection that I feel now. Being in a healthier, more psychologically sound place in life, the energy at the time, whether or not it was an aspect of my angel, the size felt the same. It did not tell me the same name as I have come to find with this connection. But what happened at that time was that the spirit also sort of became a bit of an incubus. And for those that don't know, an incubus is typically a male spirit, perhaps demon, that seeks to have sexual intercourse with women. Succubus is the female version that seeks to do the same with men. And it was conflicting. And like I said, at the time, I wasn't calling the spirit my holy guardian angel. I was calling it Ace. And perhaps Ace was an aspect of Lux, the darker side, or just the side that matched my current energy at the time. Okay? Because it did feel somewhat similar, but it was a heavier energy too. And so maybe it wasn't at all my holy guardian angel, But there were some aspects that I did feel similarly, like the level of protection that I feel with my guardian angel, holy guardian angel, and the size. And except I will admit that Ace felt more male than Lux. Lux definitely feels more androgynous to me. And so I say all this. I mean, now I don't connect with Ace anymore. Now I'm better. Like, that's all in the past. Well, that's all said and done. It was a crazy experience, a crazy magic-y experience that I don't share with just everybody, which is why this is only in the members-only section. But I think it's important to be shared in some capacity to stress the importance of doing this magic with pure intention, a pure mind, not being in an altered state, whether it's drugs or alcohol or whatever. Being in control of our mind, not having some sort of mental illness take over or some sort of influence from perhaps somebody doing magic on us or unclean spiritual hygiene, because all of that comes into account when we make these connections with the spirits. And I mean, when I connected with the spirit in the past that was not my holy guardian angel or was an aspect of it or whatever, I ended up okay. I mean, I was fine. You know, it was a weird experience at the time. I won't go into too much detail, but I pretty much said everything about it without just boring you with details, which maybe they wouldn't be boring, but that's maybe for another time. But just be mindful. Be mindful whenever you connect with spirits. You know, if we're not in control of our mind, we're not in control of our magic. And so I will say, too, like I said at that time, I was not using this book. So it was not a controlled method of connection, even though who I was working with at the time, I won't name drop, was connecting or intending to connect with his holy guardian angel, using some of the same methods that Damon Brand does write in here. But it was not the same, for me, it was not the same connection as I'm feeling now with Lux. It was very different. Even though there were some similarities, some parallels. With Lux, there is no incubus happening with that. There is only a level of protection and safety that I feel, of love and compassion and support and encouragement and connection. It is a pure connection. What I felt in the past when I wasn't using this book and working with this person who I'm not sure is also mentally stable. I don't know how he's doing now. We've lost touch. It was just different, you know. I perhaps didn't have just the right method of connecting. And also, like I said, my spiritual hygiene was not great, so maybe whatever I was attracting was just a projection of my own energy at the time, or something that just latched onto me. I don't know. So, that being said, I have found this to be a safe book to work with. I will stress again the importance of just maintaining a pure state of mind, spiritual hygiene, having a pure intention, taking care of ourselves. Because if we're not in control of our mind, we're not in control of our magic, and we want to make sure that we are connecting with the Holy Guardian Angel and not with anything else. And our Holy Guardian Angels are only there to support us, to love us, to protect us. And that is the experience that I have found with this book so far. And I would bet money that that is the experience I will continue to find as I continue to work with this and report back in time, because it's all the same angel. If you have worked with this book, I would love to hear your experience in the comments. If you have not yet worked with this book and have been thinking about it or haven't heard about it or whatever, I hope that this video maybe educated you on just what it is, or maybe inspired you to work with it a little bit. Always, 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 you know, just be intentional and mindful when doing magic. Any magic, even if it's simple magic like this. But when you do it right, and you come from a place of pure intention and give it your attention and everything, you know, your experience with the book may not be like mine, but for me it's worked. So I would bet that it would work for you too. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I love doing these Gallery of Magick Book reviews. I will, of course, have more in time, whether it's a second review of books that I've worked with again, or new books that I continue to get. And I will report back when I've worked with this book more and have more to share with it. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have found this helpful. I hope everybody's 2025 is off to a fantastic start. Thank you again to the members who are signing up to my channel, and stay tuned for more videos to come as the year progresses and as the channel grows. Everyone's support means a lot, whether or not you're a member, whether you're just a subscriber, or whether you just watch my videos. But if you are not subscribed, then like this video and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more content like this. So as always, guys, stay kind, stay curious, and until next time, peace.